I had a background in medicine. By that time, there was no nursing. I came here in 2017.
Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I have a special guest in the house. So we're going to be discussing something different from the usual topic you've been seeing on my channel. So I'll let my guest to introduce himself to the audience.
Hello, Julia. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your channel. My name is Aaron Ochola. I am Ugandan. I come from Uganda. Uganda is a place in East Africa, for those who don't know. I stay in Lublin, Poland. I've been staying here for the past 6 years, let's say 5 to 6 years. I do a master's in physiotherapy or physical therapy. I am in my 5th year, almost done. I think one and a half more semesters to go.
Wow.
Yes, it's nice to be here. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting profile. So guys, has a YouTube channel, so you can check his channel to see other contents he has. I'll also drop the channel display here, so you can always go check his channel out. Subscribe to his channel to see more of his content. First question for today is number one, what inspired you to study physiotherapy? Why not nursing? Like everybody's nurse here and there, is bubbling everywhere, the whole internet. But I've not seen someone talking about physiotherapy. So what inspired you to discuss?
Okay, well, I had a background in medicine in Uganda, back in Uganda, and hopefully one day we can also talk about that and how we can how navigating from there to here was. It's a whole other story. But you said why physio, not nursing? First of all, by that time there was no nursing.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I came here in 2017, and it was physiotherapy here, and it played to my strengths. You know, I am a physical guy. I like to play sports. I had the background in medicine. I like anatomy, you know, and I thought of the challenge and I liked it. And there's also something more important. Physiotherapy is not a very big thing in Africa right now, and it should be, because there's so many things that physiotherapy can help with. And hopefully when I finish and I work here for a bit, for a good while, then I will be able to go back and make it more available and more popular back home.
Yes, because back home I notice most of the world you see here in the hospitals you see here in Poland, you'll see either each floor they have like 1 or 2 physiotherapists assigned to the nurses. But back home there's nothing of such.
Yes,
so that is why.
Yes, because you know, physiotherapy applies to all the wards in the hospital. Like, you should have a pediatric physiotherapist. You should even have a physiotherapist in the pulmonology ward. You know, you should have a physiotherapist, obviously, in the orthopedic ward. You should have a physiotherapist in oncology for the cancer patients. You know, it really does so much. You know, many of the modules and practices in physiotherapy are linked to making the recovery process, even of other diseases, better. And some parts of physiotherapy, like osteopathy, it helps with various organs. And let's say if you have organ failure, or you are being treated for something and a certain organ is affected, there are certain modes of physiotherapy that can help you get through and quicken your recovery.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Next question. What is the duration of your course to study physiotherapy, and which university are you studying your physiotherapy? You said
Okay.
you doesn't mean you said you came in 2017. Doesn't mean you started 2017. I was thinking it's 3 years. So why are you in your ninth semester? So maybe you explain
Okay.
why.
Okay. Very good question. The course is a long master's,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes 5 years. At first, there used to be a 3-year physio course, but in Europe, that has been scrapped. You need to study physiotherapy for 5 years now. Um, and the reason, if because I started in 2017, right? By now
Mm-hmm.
I should have finished.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2020, I
Mm-hmm.
had gone back home to Africa, and
Okay.
I got stuck there during the lockdown,
Oh.
for almost a year. So I,
Oh.
that's a whole other story again. That
Oh.
eventually we can get into. Yes, 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 yes. So I missed many practicals through 3 semesters, so I couldn't just continue when I came back, and so I had to be held back a little bit, and that's why I'm just now about to finish.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, so you're saying that physiotherapy is normally supposed to be 3 years, but in Europe, the whole of Europe, not just Poland as a whole,
Mm,
they usually
mm.
offer it for 5 years. That means you're going to be issued two certificates, a BSc certificate and a master certificate.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So usually, at first, it just used to be a bachelor's in physiotherapy, but
Mm-hmm.
we were told that now you cannot really work if you have just, or maybe you can, but it's not advisable, and many schools do not even offer it. Not that I know of. Most
Mm-hmm.
physiotherapists now are going for the 5-year course, and that 5-year thing happened to start in 2017. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's how it is now.
So that means in 2017 there were no, is it that there was no university in the whole of Poland offering nursing, or it's just that it's for Lublin because you were already in Lublin? There was no university in Lublin offering nursing courses.
Yeah, there was no university in Lublin offering nursing in Lublin offering nursing in English. Maybe you say,
Okay,
but
English. Okay.
yeah, but I also wasn't looking to do nursing. Not at all.
Oh,
It wasn't even in my list of options. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know that there would be a time that nursing would be a thing here. I did not see this
It's
coming. Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. Right now it's very popular. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Mr. Aaron, for that
Mhm.
information. So now we'll go to the next question, which is look at the cost of studying physiotherapy in Poland
Mhm.
as a whole. How much does it cost you your first year, your second year? Since you said you started 2017, is this the same
Yes.
tuition fee you paid in that first year? Is this the same you are still paying now since you're in your master's level?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, when we started, we were paying about 4,000 euro per
Wow,
year.
per year?
Uh, yeah, yeah, 4,300, 4,200, something like that. With the first class that I started with, but where eventually, as time went on, they reduced it to maybe 3,800. It is the most expensive course in the university. For those people who finished when I was supposed to finish, they were
Mm.
paying that 4,200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That was expensive, more expensive than
yeah,
nursing.
yeah, yeah, much more.
How is the clinical placement? Do you do that in a private hospital or in a public hospital? So if you're doing it in the hospital, do they allow you to handle a patient? Do they give you this freedom of will I call it freedom of movement or freedom of like attending to patients so that you get to know more and understand more in true practicals?
Well, yes, in with physio we are fewer. Like in my class, we are 8 students.
Oh.
And I think the biggest class now, I don't know about the lower semesters, but the biggest class maybe I think they're like 20 or something. But in the hospitals, depending on what module you're doing, that you'll be highly supervised, but they will let you do the work. They will, especially as you go higher and higher, because for example, for let's say pulmonology and all that, you might not do all that. You'll mostly be observing, but you'll be you have to write a comprehensive report about it. And then, for example, the first practicals we do, those ones are, yes, the hands-on, where we're using physical modalities. By that, I mean, we're using ultrasound, we're using cryotherapy. You're doing that on the patient with the supervision of the lecturer. Yeah. And then later on, let's say as you get higher and more confident and competent with your skills in, for example, 8th semester, 7th, 8th semester, like me and my classmates, we were divided into two groups. One was with I think judo or karate club, and the other was with the rugby club. I was in the latter. I was in the rugby club, So we were, our teacher was quite strict, and he's like, "You're in 4th year, so I expect you to know this, 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 this." So the rugby players will come in after the team meeting, and they will say, "Oh, this is what is happening." You diagnose the patient, you clap the patient, you ask him, "Do you have a pain in your shoulder? When did it start?" You do range of motion exercises with them. You do, different things, and then the teacher is watching you. He's grading you as you're speaking, and you have to keep tabs on that patient and whichever patient you see, and notice the progress of your treatment over maybe was it 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. And then now the final, which I'm about to start in March, happens in a hospital. So that is even going to be more intense, because I think we're going to do 1,000 hours. So it's definitely a lot of practice.
Let's look at the job opportunity of physiotherapists. Because if you look at the internet now, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, everywhere is healthcare worker, work in the UK, work in US, work in Canada, nurse this, doctor, nurse, doctor. So I have not seen any employer recruiter talking about physiotherapists, employing physiotherapists. So what are the job prospects for physiotherapists? And I believe, are you based on what you said, seems like you are the first set, or maybe there's a set before you. Have you seen anyone that was able to work, and what were the process or the duration of getting job after graduating?
Well, very good question. When I started, there was already a class before me, but they were doing the 3-year course. And then eventually they came back and completed and added 2 years. And the class in 2017 is the first long master's class. Now, the prospects, since it's still new here, for English students to be doing physiotherapy here in Lublin, I can speak for Lublin, it's still a bit tough, but it's getting better, because there are jobs, especially here in Poland. Physiotherapy is very, very popular, but there's a whole thing of language, If you have Polish, I know a few friends who are Polish speaking and are working in Warsaw, get a fairly good salary for beginning. I think maybe at least 50 zloty an hour, you know.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are them. I also have another friend that I studied with. He was ahead of me. He's opened his own clinic here, and he also teaches. He does many things. So I believe as a physiotherapist, for us who are starting out right now, we are the trailblazers. We are going to have to be opening up the opportunities for everyone else. So it's a bit more uncertain, but I'm very hopeful because recently I was there was someone from Switzerland who was offering an internship at a sports club, you know, for a physio, and then with the possibility of hiring you after. So you have to look, to be honest. It's like any other job, though I'm sure with nursing, it's definitely easier to get a job. But right now, because physio is still novel, it's still new here, they've not yet fully opened up like that. But yeah, it's going to be a process, a growing process as time goes on.
You need to write board exam before after you graduate, because you said most of the people you talked about, they worked here in Poland. So was there anything like board exam, passing Polish? I know you definitely have to get Polish. Then is there any like a general board exam for physiotherapists?
Well, if you want to work, we have, of course, the final exam. The final exam, which is very comprehensive. And because we are doing masters, the final exam is, let's say, different from if we were doing a bachelor's, you know. So usually if you have finished your masters, you are certified to do physiotherapy, right? General physiotherapy. But I heard that there's a national board exam you can sit if you want a license, like a license to a license to either practice here. The people that I know did not have to sit an exam, but I know they do extra courses. Like even I'm doing one right now before I finish called DNS. So when I finish and I do the exam, I become a certified DNS specialist. And then so you get more specialized jobs, let's say working in sports clubs or whatever. But the thing is also, there are many places where, unfortunately, physios, let's say if they don't get a job, they just decide to start with massage therapy, you know. And I mean, it's something you start with and then you keep moving, you know. Like I said, the network, especially for foreigners, has not yet really grown like that, but there's hope. There's hope for it to grow. And the other thing is language. I think when you have Polish, you have access to so many jobs here in Poland. You have access to so many jobs. Without Polish, it might be a bit difficult. So the certification.
Okay, can you speak Polish?
A little. I can count until 10,000, and
Really?
I can ask someone where the pain is. I can, you know, just a few things, but it's really broken. Yeah, but I'm thinking of, you know, during my last year, which this is my last year, I want to polish my Polish, pun unintended. I want to.
You want to polish.
I want to polish my Polish, you know, and just to increase my options. You know, you never know, because, like I told you, we are at the beginning of something that we don't know what the potential can be. You know, we are at the beginning, so we are setting the future for those who are still coming behind us, like your friend Rumbi. You know, the ones in 5th semester and below. So we are trying to show them what to do when it's their turn.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah.
So the job opportunity for physiotherapists is not really like that broad compared to nursing and medical doctors.
It is, but like you see, nursing students, most of them are not going to practice here. And I don't know
Yeah.
anyone who's practicing in Poland.
Mm-hmm,
They've all
mm-hmm,
gone to English speaking countries, you
mm-hmm.
know. So it's the same for physio, because actually in the UK, physios are on demand.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's the only, like I said, the only thing that is stopping people is the language.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you do the language, and then maybe you're able to answer the exam in the language, then you can work here. But yeah, that's how
Okay.
it is. Mm.
So based on what you are saying now, it seems like after your study you want to stay in Poland. Or after study, what next? Leave
Okay,
Poland
so
or back to Africa? What
hmm
next?
okay, so over my time here in the university, I've been a bit fortunate to do other things on the side. Uh, Private tutoring of students in anatomy, biochemistry. Actually, the first nursing class had many of my students. I
Wow.
took them through, yes, because many people had come here without any background in sciences. You know, some people are accountants, some people. So, and then you enter the class and you're hearing anatomy, you're hearing physiology, and you do not know where to begin. So I was like, I I was helping them that way. So eventually, I get students here and there, and also teaching English here and there. So for me, my options here are a bit open, and it can go. It will probably be academia, teaching,
Oh,
and
okay.
working as, let's say, first an assistant somewhere. The few people I've talked to, that will be like,
Okay.
if you've got your stuff on point, then
Okay.
maybe you can work first, maybe even volunteering for a bit, and then we start paying you based on what you're doing, you know. So, and then the thing about most people say, oh, when I'm done, I want to leave Poland. The thing is, what I'm doing is I'm keeping my options open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping my options open. Whatever is available, whatever is feasible, I can do. You know, if I need to go to the UK, then I go to the UK. And right now my wife is here. She's studying and she finishes at the end of 2024. So,
Okay.
I'm still here, but I'm keeping my options open. Yeah.
Okay. Something I love about studying physiotherapy is that you can still be on your own. You can establish on your own. So that's
And
why
then,
the course is kind of interesting compared to nursing.
yes,
As a
yes,
nurse, you need to work for someone. You cannot,
yes,
except back in Africa, you see someone, they are nurses, they just get some chemists where they sell
hmm,
drugs, medications,
yeah,
doing
yeah,
personal thing. But here in
yeah.
Europe, you can do that.
No, I think you can't do that if you're a bachelor's nurse, but if you take it to PhD, maybe you can do something like that. But still, it would have to be a partnership, maybe a partnership
Mm-hmm.
with a doctor or some. So the only way for a nurse to start her own thing medically is by partnering up, and which makes sense because most of the things in the medical field require teams. There has to be a team. There has to be a team of people. So if you're starting, even as a doctor, if you're starting your clinic, it can't just be you alone. You have the thing about physio as well. Now, physio, yes, physio is more of a, it can be a singular sport.
Yes, you can easily, even when you don't have the license with physio, you can just be in your house and be massaging, be attending to people.
Now let's talk about that. You have to be careful with that because they're quite strict about that. You can. It's a gray area. Actually, it's not a gray area. You can be arrested because first of all, massagers can go wrong. For example, if you massage someone, let's say that, for example, there are contraindications of massage. Let's say you don't massage someone with a burn wound or a fracture or someone who has, let's say, clotting disorder, right? Because someone, if you massage them, they get a clotting disorder, they get what they call DVT or deep venous thrombosis. A clot forms and then maybe it goes in the bloodstream and maybe blocks the heart. Then you don't have any protection. You know, you don't have any protection that the license would give you, you know. So basically doing that from your house like that is basically sort of illegal, you know. And these guys with the medical field, it's so litigious. Like you will be sued, you will be, and they'll stop you from working again, you know, if you don't go to prison. So you have to be as of to whoever is listening, you have to be as careful as possible to get everything in order, you know, because they are watching. They are watching. Yeah, they are watching, and you have to make sure you have your stuff in order even before you treat a patient. Like there's certain things, there's certain methods that you are not allowed to do unless you are a certified physiotherapist in that field, you know. Yeah, so otherwise you can get in a lot of trouble.
In trouble. Okay, so thank you. So final advice to people that want to study physiotherapy and they're in between, okay, should I go for physiotherapy or I should go for nursing? So what advice do you have for such people?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. With there's so many things you have to consider. What stage in life are you? How long are you willing to be in school? You know, because most people, when you're coming from Africa, you're like, hey man, I'm coming from Africa. I want to, you know, get to a better situation. And within maybe the next few years, I want to, you know, earn some money and start, you know, living. You know, you know that most of our friends right now are in that situation. So there I would say go with nursing. Also, physiotherapy is definitely a good course to do. I would advise you to do it, but you need to be persistent. You need to be persistent. There will be things you do not understand because there's a lot of detail in subjects like anatomy, you know, things like, especially your anatomy. You need to be ready. You need to be ready not to know and be ready to learn, you know, and learn and read over and over again. You know, like even me for in spite of the fact that I did medicine, sometimes I had to tell myself that I need to really, really study, you know, because you can get left behind and you can get in trouble with physio. Nursing, I can't speak from a nursing point of view, but I can speak as someone who did medicine. You also need patience. There's a different kind of patience you need with nursing. There's a different kind of tolerance you need. So you have to tailor your choice based on you, based on what you can handle, how much time you're willing to wait. Because physio is 5 years, you know, and you'll see so many people graduating and you'll be tempted. There are many people who left physio and did nursing and now nurses and are working and it's working for them. You know, so it's really depends on you as a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for honoring my invitation. Guys, if you can check out Aaron's channel, he also has a YouTube channel. He does a whole lot of things there. So I'll see invite Aaron in my channel for other collaboration. For now, go and subscribe to Aaron. Subscribe to his channel.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much. So guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.